ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सागररघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगणललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Welcome everyone. Today attendance is low. I'm not sure, maybe sunny day, people are out. Okay, anyway, let's get started. I think others may join. Let's continue with the class. Yeah, so we are in 11th chapter. By the way, the connection between chapter 10 and 11 is this. In the chapter 10, so Lord, towards the end of chapter 10, so Lord mentioned, with a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support the entire universe. I pervade and support the entire universe with just a small fragment. It's just nothing from me, actually maintains everything in existence. So Arjuna became curious how Lord actually maintains and supports the entire universe with just a single fragment of himself. So that is the context for this chapter. And Krishna describes his universal form, providing a vision to Arjuna where he can see how the universe operates. So we discussed about 11 verses in the last week. So the current verses from 9 to 31, they are revealing the universal form of the Lord. Sanjaya describing as he sees to Dhritarashtra. So we are in the midst of that, like 11 verses we covered. Let's continue with the other verses. So these are a series of descriptions of various elements that we see in this world that represent Lord. So he is going to describe the universal form in the beginning. Arjuna, so last two verses, 10 and 11, right? So Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. So the form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, and all expanding. So it's an expansive form, very, very unique form that no one had seen in this world before. Let's continue. Divi Surya Sahasrasya.
Divi Surya Sahasrasya.
Bhaved Yugapadutita.
Bhaved Yugapadutita.
Sadrishi Sasya.
Yadi Bahasatrasikaya.
Vasastasya Mahatmana.
Vasastasya Mahatmana.
Anybody, please?
If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form.
Hmm. So if with one sun, we can see how bright the environment is today, right? During summer especially, it is so bright with just a single sun. So that is how Lord arranges it. Lord fixed one bulb for the entire universe. And the entire universe was lighted up for the entire daytime. Now, the light here is thousands of such suns. If they all rise together in one movement, thousand suns, imagine. And how radiant and how hot that environment will be. So that's exactly, it's a startling experience for Arjuna. So their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. It cannot be seen by normal eyes. That's why Arjuna was given special eyes to see this form. Yeah. Both Sanjaya and Dhritarashtra were not there in Kurukshetra, but because Sanjaya, by the grace of Vyasa, could see whatever happened, because he was blessed by his spiritual master Vyasadeva, Sanjaya. And so he's able to see this form. Tatraikastam Jagat Krishtam
Tatraikashtam jagat krishtam
Pravibhaktam Anekada
pravibhaktam anekada
Apasyad Deva Devasya
apadyateva devasya
Sharire Pandavastada.
sharire pandavastada.
Please read.
At the time Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands.
So at that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form unlimited expansions of the universe. So he's seeing even multiple universes in one place. Yeah, so in one place, but they're all divided into so many of them, thousands of them. So it's a very, very unique form that of Lord that Arjuna is witnessing. So Arjuna could see in the body of Krishna many thousands of planets. As we learn from Vedic scriptures, there are many universes and many planets. Some of them are made of earth, some of them are made of gold, some of them are made of jewels. So these are all described in various scriptures. So Arjuna could see all of that. Tata sa vismaya vispo
Tata sa vismaya visto
vistaroma dhananjaya
Rishtaromadhanaya
pranamya shirasha devam
pranamya shirisha devam
kritagnale abhasata.
kritangalena vasata.
Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord.
So looking at this form, it's not an ordinary form, extraordinary form, like thousands of suns and seeing thousands of planets and so many different faces. So it's a very bewildering form. It's not easy to witness such a form, right? It's like you're seeing a horror movie, for example, right? But that if you are witnessing a horror, very like very scary movie, and suddenly that movie turned up to like a 3D, meaning the forms are very, very tough to witness, and they're actually coming to you, and they are happening in reality right before your eyes. it's not easy to witness. It's very, very scary. That's exactly what Arjuna is saying. Like, you're, so for example, you're watching a dinosaur in the movie theater. Suddenly the dinosaur is coming onto you. How do you feel? So that is how scary it is like for Arjuna here. So Arjuna, completely bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, was thrilled totally. Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. He immediately started offering prayers. Now please read this.
Once the divine vision is revealed, the relationship between Krishna and Arjuna changes immediately. Before, Krishna and Arjuna had a relationship based on friendship, but here, after the revelation, Arjuna is offering obeisances with great respect and with folded hands, he is praying to Krishna. He is praising the universal form. Thus, Arjuna's relationship becomes one of wonder rather than friendship. Great devotees see Krishna as a reservoir of all relationships. In the scriptures, there are 12 basic kinds of relationships mentioned, and all of them are present in Krishna. It is said that he is the ocean of all the relationships exchanged between two living entities, between the gods, or between the Supreme Lord and his devotees.
So Arjuna so far, he was treating Krishna as his friend, great friend, who is supremely powerful until now. Sometimes they eat together, they pat together each other, they sleep on the same bed, early on their times. It's a very, very friendly relationship. But now that he witnessed the Lord in truth, he doesn't feel the same about Lord, because this is he is the Supreme Lord who controls and maintains everything that exists, the source of everything. Everything rests on him, and is the supreme source, supremely powerful, omnipotent, omniscient, all-knowing Lord, right? Now suddenly when he come to realize this is the Supreme Lord himself, whom I was treating as my own relative. So suddenly that change of relationship brings him into a kind of fear, because he might have said some, he might have addressed in singular terms sometimes, hey Krishna, hey Yadava, like that he would have addressed it sometimes in friendship. But now after this, Arjuna feels a little bit shocked that, please, O Lord, you are the supreme source of everything, and I did not know your position, so please kindly forgive me. I didn't know who you are before. So like that, his relationship suddenly changes, right? So now he never prayed to Krishna because he was always treating him like a friend. Now, but suddenly he folded hands and praying to the Lord. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna
Arjuna,
Pashyami devams tava deva dehe
Paschami devam tava deva dehe
sarvam tata bhuta vishesha sangam
sarvam tatha bhuta vishesha sangam
brahmanamisham kamalasanastam
brahmanesham kamalasanastam
rishim cha sarvan uragams cha divyam.
Vishchim cha sarvan uragam cha divyan.
Different meter than the regular Bhagavad. This is Bhagavatam meter.
Oh, okay.
In Bhagavatam, a lot of slokas are in this meter.
Okay.
Yeah, please read. Anyone?
My dear Lord, Arjuna said, my dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine serpents.
Hmm. So basically, because in the previous chapters, Krishna said, "Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana." Everybody is but part and parcel of me. All the demigods, they're all part of me in the universal self. Right? Even the Lord exists separately from them, but everything comes from Him. So He is also the source of everybody. He has His own identity. At the same time, He is also the source of everybody, every living entity and every demigod, every so in this universal form, Arjuna is actually seeing all these demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, everybody in that, and even the Brahma, who is the the highest person in the universe, he's also sitting on the lotus flower. Lord Shiva is also present in his form, and all these sages, great sages, Agastya, Marichi, Vyasa, everybody was there in this form. And all the divine serpents like Ananta Sesha, Seshana, and then all the so many divine serpents. So they're all present in this form. So everything comes from Lord, right? So that's the meaning. Yeah, continue here.
Arjuna sees everything in the universe. Therefore, he sees Brahma, who is the first creature in the universe, and the celestial serpent upon which the Garbhodakshai Vishnu lies in the lower regions of universe. This snake bed is called Vasuki. There is also other snakes known as Vasuki. Arjuna can see from the Garbhodakshai Vishnu up to the topmost part of the universe on the lotus flower planet where Brahma, the first creature of universe, resides.
Hmm. So Arjuna is able to see everything, all the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Kshirodakshai Vishnu, Mahavishnu. Like the other day, one of you were asking, Saga Prabhu, I think, like how is Mahavishnu, we consider Krishna comes as an incarnation, but it appears like all these Vishnus are the source. But actually, Arjuna is seeing all of them in this body of Krishna, right? So Garbhodakshai Vishnu, everybody was there in this form. That's why, like I was giving a lot of examples of various verses from Brahma Samhita, where Krishna is called as the source of all the incarnations. Aneka Bahudara Vakra, Aneka Bahudara Vakra Netram.
Aneka Bahu
Udaravaktra-netram
Pasyami Tvam Sarvatonantarupam.
Pashyami tvam sarvatonantarupam
Nantam na madhyam na punastavadim.
Nantam namadhyam napunastavadim
Vadim
Vishveshwara Vishwarupa.
Pashyami Vishveshwara Vishwarupa.
O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes expanded everywhere without limit. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning.
Hmm. So Arjuna is just describing what he's seeing. So in the universal form of the Lord, there are many, many, many arms, bellies, mouths, eyes, expanded everywhere without limits. I see in you no end, no middle, no beginning. He's the middle, he's the end, he's everything. So basically, this form is completely bewildering to Arjuna. Kiritinam gadinam chakrinam cha
Kirtinam Chakrinam Cha
Tejo Rasim Sarvato Deeptimantam
Tejo Rasim Sarvato Deeptimantam
Pashyami Tvam Durnikasham Samanta
Pashyami Tvam Darniksham Samantan
Diptanalarka Jyotimaprameyam.
Diptanalarka Pramanyam.
Archana Mataji.
Your form is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence, spreading on all sides like blazing fire or the immeasurable radiance of the sun. Yet I see this glowing form everywhere, adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs.
Its Lord's form is very difficult to see because of its effulgence spreading on all sides like blazing fire or the immeasurable radiance of the sun. Like in the previous verse, it's mentioned, it's like 1,000 suns if suddenly rise, how radiant the place will become. With one sun today, I'm seeing, it's so bright today. Now imagine 1,000 such suns all together in one place. So that's the form that Arjuna is witnessing. And there are crowns, clubs, and discs everywhere. Certainly very, it's indescribable. It has to be witnessed. That's how one can understand this form. Param paramam veditavyam
Tvam Aksharam Paramam Veditavyam
tamasya visvasya param nidhanam
Tvam Asya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam
tvam avyaya sasvata dharma gota
Tvam Avyasaswata Dharma Gopta
sanatanastvam purusho mato me.
Sanatanasvam Purusho Namatume.
Please read.
You are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place for all this universe. You are inexhaustible and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion.
Is the paramam. Paramam means supreme. Paramam is the highest. Paramam veditavyam is the supreme person to be understood. Supreme to be understood. Param nidhanam. Nidhanam means supreme basis. You're the supreme basis. Inexhaustible. There is no end to you. Dharma Gopta, maintainer of the eternal religion. So these are all the terms that Arjuna uses to describe Krishna. Anadimadyantamanantaviryam
Anadimadyantamananantaviryam
anantabahum shashishuryanetram
Anantamahum Shashishuryanetram
syami tvam deeptahutasavakram
Pashyami Tvam Devahutashavaktram
Satyasa vishwamidam tapantam.
Svate Shaveshwamidam
Beautiful to read. Very nice to read these words. Anadimadyantam anantabijam anantabahum sasisuryanetram samitvam deeptahutasavakram Satyasa vishwamidam tapantam. Yeah, please read.
You are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and the moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance.
Mm. So he's describing it's a fascinating form. Java Prithivyor idam hi
Yeah.
Dyavya prithyor idam antaram hi
Taramhi.
Aptam Tvayakena tisascha sarva
vyaptam
Vyaptam
tvayakena dishascha sarva
Drishwadbhutam Rupamugram Tavedam
दृष्ट्वा भूतं रूपमुग्रं तवेदं
Lokatrayam Pravyatitam Mahatman.
लोकात्रयं
Trayam
प्रव्यथितं महात्मम्.
Is it?
Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between, O great one. Seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed.
Perturbed, disturbed. Perturbed means disturbed. So he's saying that you spread throughout the sky and planets and all space in between. So Lord is everywhere. Lord is the source of everything, and he's maintaining all the planets and everything. And even seeing your form, even the planetary systems are perturbed, means disturbed. When the great planets are even disturbed, because it's a very unique form. So I think there will be more such verses like this. We'll just quickly read through them. Ami hitvam surasak sanga vasanti vishanti
अमिहि त्वं शूरा शङ्गा विशन्ति
echid bhita pranjalayo grinanti
केचित् भिता प्राञ्जलयो गृह्णन्ति
swasti iti vuktva maharshi siddhasanga
स्वस्तीति उक्त्वा महर्षि सिद्धासङ्गा
stuvanti tvam stutibhi pushkalabhi.
स्तुवन्ति त्वं स्तुतिभिः पुष्कलभिः.
These verses are revealing how Krishna is the source of everything. Okay?
Yeah.
Please read.
All the hosts of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings, crying all peace, are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns.
So within that universal picture, there are demigods we discussed, and then those demigods are actually offering praise to the Lord as Arjuna sees them. Some of them are afraid, offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages are crying all peace, are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns. They're all praying to Lord. Rudraditya vasavo yachahadhya
रुद्रादित्य वशवो ये च सद्या
visve sunau marutas chosma pascha
विश्वे स्विनो मरुतास्तोष्म
Indharvayaksha surasiddha sangha
गन्धर्वयक्षासुरसिद्धसङ्गा
vikshante tvampis vishmitaschaiva sarve.
वीक्षन्ते त्वं विस्मिताश्चैव सर्वे.
Survey.
All the various manifestation of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Visvadevas, the two Asvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder.
Hmm. So all of these other great personalities within the universe, beginning with Lord Shiva. So actually there are 11 Rudras. Lord Shiva is one of them. Right? There are Rudra, they're all very much similar. They all are meant to, basically they are the cause. They participate in the creation as well as towards the end, towards destruction. They participate in these activities. Bhagavatam describes the details of how Lord Shiva destroys the universe at the end of millennium. So like that, like all these are all basically they're all in charges of various functions, right? They're all from this sourced in the Lord, but they are performing various specific roles. Adityas, right? Sun is an Aditya. Vasus, right? Bhishma Dev is a Vasu. Sadhya, Visvadevas, Ashvis, I don't know who some of these are. Maruts, forefathers, Gandharvas, Yakshas, they're all part of the universe. Asuras in the lower planets. So everybody was beholding this form of universal form in great wonder. So everybody, even Lord Shiva was also watching this. That's what it means. Because it's a very unique form. Rupam mahate bahuvaktra netram
Rupam
Rupam
mahate
Mahate
bahuvaktra
Bahuvakta
netram
Netram
mahabaho
Bahurapakam
Mahabaho
Mahabaho
Bahurapakam
Bahurapadam
bahudaram bahu amrishtra karalam
Bahudaram
Udaram Bahudamastra
Karalam
Karalam
drishtva loka pravyatitastataham.
Drishtva
Drishya
Loka
Lokha Pravyatitas
Statam
Tatam Tataham.
Please read.
O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form, with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I.
Everybody is disturbed, and Arjuna is also disturbed. Nabhasprisham deeptamanekavarnam
Nabhashpisam
Diptam
Deeptamanekavardam
Aneka Varanam
Tattananam deeptavishalanetram
Vyatananam Deepta
Yatyanam Dipta
Vishalanetram
Vishalanetram
Vishwa hitvam pravyatitantaratma
Drishtva
Dishwa
हि त्वं
Yatvam Pravyatita
pravyatiतान्तरात्मा
Vindami samam cha Vishnu.
धृतिं न
Ritam
विन्दामि
Navindami
समं च
Samam
विष्णु.
Vishnu.
Please read.
O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouths, and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind.
He doesn't want to, enough is enough. He doesn't want to keep on watching this fearful form. Damstra kalali nichache mukhani
Damstra karalani chate mukhani.
dristvaiva kalana lasannibhani
Vistvaiva
Drishtva
Kalanala
kalanala
Sannidhani
disho na jane na labhe na Nalabhe cha sarma.
Disho
Disho
na
na
jane na
jane na
labhe
labhe
sacharma.
chasma.
Jidade jagam nivasam.
Prasida
Prasida
Devamsha
Devasa
Jagat Nivasha.
Jaganivasa.
Please read.
O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance seeing the silver blazing death-like faces and awful teeth in all directions. I am bewildered.
Hmm. So I can't witness this anymore. I'm bewildered. So many times, either devotees or various personalities in the universe asked to see different forms of Lord, and they all get bewildered. For example, uh, so in Bhagavatam, there is the story of Samudramantan. You all heard about the story of Samudramantan, where Devis and Devi Devatas and Dhanavas, they wanted to churn uh, churn the ocean to acquire this Amrita, right? So as part of that, after the churning was over, initially Halahala came and Lord Shiva drank, and there are many things that came and different personalities took away. Finally, Dhanvantari comes and he gives the pot of nectar that strengthens the life of demigods and demons. They wanted that. Both of them wanted, because they all became weak. So they wanted that. But demons are, they just want to grab everything for themselves. They don't want to share anything with devatas, right? Naturally, that's what demons' tendencies are. They just want everything for themselves. So at that time, Lord immediately turned into Lord. Lord was there. Lord was helping in so many ways. Lord became the tortoise to uh, hold the Mandara mountain on which this churning was happening, the churning rod. Vasuki became the snake, and Lord in the form of what is it? Sahasra Bahu. He was holding the top of the churning rod. Mandara mountain became the churning rod. Lord was holding from top. Lord was in the form of Sahasra Bahu, and the bottom he was holding as tortoise, the Kurma avatar, and churning was happening. And finally, this came, and Danavas want to take away everything, but Lord suddenly turns into Mohini Murti, a unique form, extremely beautiful form. And the demons were subdued by the beauty of this lady. And this lady, takes away the pot and she says, I'm going to distribute this. Everybody was silent because they don't want to displease her. They wanted a favor from them. And this whole thing happened, Lord somehow distributes everything to Devatas, and Danavas don't get anything. They all get royally cheated by Lord. And this whole thing was completed. Lord Shiva hears about this and he was enchanted. Here, I want to see this Mohini Murti form. Because all the Devatas and Danavas were bewildered by this form. So beautiful form. Never was anybody witnessed such a form. And Lord Shiva gets curious. I want to see this form. And he goes and requests Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu says, do you really want to see this form? It's not really meant for you. But anyway, Lord Shiva says, I definitely want to witness this form. And then he reveals this Mohini Murti form. And Mohini Murti suddenly moves in a beautiful way, and Lord Shiva runs behind her. And he was totally lost, and he was running to catch her. And in the process, he was going over various hermitages and various places in the universe. Lord Shiva was running behind Mohini Murti, to catch her. And in the process, he was going over some hermitages where devotees are all praying to Lord Shiva, for his mercy. But the Lord Shiva was actually running behind Mohini Murti. And finally, uh, you know, Lord Shiva realizes, yes, I am bewildered by this form. I was basically influenced, illusioned by this form. And one may ask me, how come Lord Shiva, he comes from Lord Vishnu, and he's almost equally powerful as Vishnu, but how can he be bewildered in this way? In fact, Lord Shiva himself talks about this whole episode to Bhavani, his wife. And Lord himself talks about what has happened to Lord Shiva. This form that is not, so Lord has internal energy and external energy. The internal energy um, is represented by Lakshmi Devi and Srimati Radharani, the internal potency, the consorts of Lord Vishnu himself. And external potency, Maya Devi, both are Maya. One is internal Maya, the other is external Maya. The external energy of the Lord is represented by Durga, right? So Lord's manifestation, Lord and Lakshmi, they are the spiritual counterparts for Durga and Lord Shiva within the material existence. Because when they were touched with the material energy, they become Durga and Lord Shiva. So this Mohini Murti that you witnessed, O Lord Shiva, no, this is bewildering to everybody. It's a unique form, and it is actually sourced in my internal energy. If it was external energy, external Maya cannot disturb you, but this this form that you witnessed, that's actually my internal energy. So it's no surprise you are disturbed. And even Lord Shiva, he wouldn't get too much ashamed, because he acknowledges Lord Vishnu as the Supreme Lord, and he shares the same thing with Bhavani, that about this incident he shares that Lord can bewilder anybody, including me, and he doesn't feel ashamed. That is how devotees, they never think that they are better than the Lord. Right? So in this way, like whenever somebody asks Lord to show their form, it's always a surprise to them, even to Arjuna here. So I was sharing this because in this case, Arjuna was bewildered. He asked for if, he wanted to witness the form of the Lord, and on how he maintains this universe by expanding his fragment, right, through his fragmental parts. So that's what he's witnessing, and he totally got bewildered. Okay, now he surrenders it. Damstra Karola Nichate
Nichate mukhani
Dristvai Kalana Lasannibhani
Drishtva kala nala sannibhani
Disho न जाने न लभे च शर्मा
Disho na jane na labhe sachar sarma
प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास.
Prasida devesha jagannivasha.
We already read. Basically, I am not able to keep my balance, seeing those blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. I can't witness this anymore. I am done. In all directions, I'm bewildered. Please be gracious to me. Please be kind to me. Just take away this form. I can't hold this form anymore. Ami from the Dhritarashtrasya putra
Amicha tam dhritarashtrasya putra
sarve sahaiva vanipala sanghay
sarve sahaiva vavani palas Namaste.
Bhishmo Drona Sutaputra Tatasau
Bhishmo Drona Sutaputra Thasau
Sahasmadiyar Apiyodhamukyai
Sahasmadiyar Apiyodhamukhe
Vatrani Tetva Ramana Vashanti
Vaktrani Te Tvaramana Vishanti
Danstra Kavalani Bhayanakani
Damstra Karalani Bhayanani
Kechit Vilagna Dashanam Tareshu
Kechi Vilagna Dashanantareshu
Sandrishyante Churnate Uttamangai
Sandrishyante Churinchite Uttamange. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings, and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also, are rushing into your fearful mouths. And some I see trapped, with heads smashed between your teeth.
Wow. So now Lord is actually revealing what is going to happen in the near future. So all these great people, all these allied kings, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, they're all going to die in this war. And even our soldiers, our chief soldiers also, are all rushing into your fearful mouth. They're all rushing into mouth. They're all crushing. Their heads are getting crashed between the teeth of the Lord. Right? So time consumes everybody in this world, correct? With time, everybody grows and becomes old and dies. So like this, Lord is revealing what is going to happen in the near future to Arjuna. Yeah, so basically Lord is showing all of this. So yeah, can you read this line?
This is an indication that after the death of nearly all the persons assembled at Kurukshetra, Arjuna will emerge victorious. It is also mentioned here that Bhishma, who is supposed to be unconquerable, will also be smashed. So also Karna, not only will the great warriors of the other party like Bhishma be smashed, but some of the great warriors of Arjuna's side also.
So all of this, actually Krishna, everything is planned by Krishna. So he knows what is happening in the future. So he's just revealed that. And all these great warriors, Bhishma, Karna, and all the Kauravas, they're all getting their heads smashed between the teeth of Lord. Even some of the warriors on Arjuna's side, like Abhimanyu and many others, also died on Arjuna's side. Yathanandina Bhahavambu Vega
Yathana Dinambhava Vega
Samudrameva Bhimukha Dravante
Samudrameva Vimukha Dravanti
Tatavami Naraloka Vira
Tatha Tavami Naraloka Vira
Vishanti Vakrani Abhivipalanti.
Vishanti Vaktrani Abhivijvalanti.
As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths.
Just like, in an ocean, there are so many waves that come and go. Right? So Like this, so many people are dying in the mouths of the Lord. यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतंगा
यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतंगा
विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगा
विशन्ति नासाय समृद्धवेगा
तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकास्
तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकास्
तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगा
तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगा. I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire.
Just like moths run into the fire, they get attracted and die. So similarly, so many people are dying, and he got bewildered. Arjuna got bewildered. What is happening here? Lelish yase gashamana samantal. Lelish yase samantal.
Leli hirise grashamana samtal. Samantal.
Lokan samagra vadane jvalabdhi.
Lokan samagran vadaner jvalabdhi.
Jo bira tejo birapurya jagat samagram.
Tejo virapurya jagat samagram.
Vasastavograh Tapanti Vishnu.
Bhashastavogra pratapanti Vishnu.
Vishnu.
O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible scorching rays.
So it's just describing what all he's seeing here. Yeah. So at this point, I'll stop here. Any questions here so far in what we discussed?